नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं हूं रोशन शर्मा, a coach, mentor and a guide for students who appear for JEE and NEET examination. This is going to be my very first podcast, and the guest on my podcast is my very own student, Dr. Vikas Mane, MBBS from Government Grand Medical College, Mumbai, and very soon planning to go to US for pursuing his masters. Vikas, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on my show and being my very first guest. I know it is going to be a very tight schedule for you because अगले 2 दिन में you're flying to US. So I won't take much of your time, but I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, for coming here and making time for us.
Thank you so much, Roshan sir, for inviting me for this first podcast of yours. And it itself is a great thing for me. It feels like my own teacher, my own mentor, whom I know throughout the year is coming to a point. We both are coming to a point where he is the one who is hosting me for the first podcast.
Exactly. It's always my pleasure, Vikas. It's always my pleasure. The main reason why I wanted you to come on this podcast was, ऐसे बहुत सारे students हैं, बहुत सारे aspirants हैं, जो exams लिख रहे हैं. Not necessarily they are writing NEET exam.
Okay.
They are writing JEE exam. बहुत सारे exams हैं. Some of them are able to crack the exam. Some of them are unable to crack the exam. थोड़े लोग हो पा रहे हैं exam. थोड़े लोगों का नहीं हो पा रहा है, राइट. थोड़े रीजंस दे रहे हैं कि यार इस वजह से नहीं हो रहा है, उस वजह से नहीं हो रहा है. फॉर मी यू आर वन ऑफ दो स्टूडेंट्स who can act like a lighthouse to them, and you can make them understand that once you have that grit in you, अगर आपके अंदर वो डिटर्मिनेशन है कि मुझे ये करना है, so you can do it. You are one of those examples. I have known you since 2017. मतलब जिस तरीके से तुमने अपनी पूरी वो जर्नी खत्म की है, it has been inspirational. So मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि लोगों ने आपके बारे में जानना चाहिए. They should learn from you. They should implement, execute the way you have executed things. And you are now a MBBS doctor going to US. It's going to be a big thing. I just want to know, how is your feeling right now? आपको कैसा, मतलब is it a mixed feeling? Mom रहेगी पीछे, तुम उधर जा रहे हो, दोस्त यहाँ पर है. How exactly it is for you?
I think, as you said, it's a mixed feeling because somewhere down the line, I'm going to miss all of these things which I did throughout my life in India. Of course, my family, my friends over there.
That's true.
Yeah. But when I'm looking forward to my upcoming journey, it feels as if things are supposed to happen in that way only.
Okay.
Because you're going to miss out something and you're going to gain something in life.
Okay.
And this is how it is going to be. So maybe it's a mixed feeling where I'm feeling bad, where I'm feeling happy about what is going to come in front of me. So I'm very excited to
थोड़ा curiosity भी होगा कि how life is going to be in the US as a student,
As of now, it's just an imagination. Once I reach there, I'll get that idea how it is going to be, so that excitement is always going to be there. That fear of missing out over here is always going to be there. Okay. My family, my friends,
How was the journey of NEET for you, Vikas? If you can just, take me through your journey of NEET. कैसे था? Difficulty था? Easy था? What were the problems that you faced,
Like before starting it, I'll just let you know that I was a student of vernacular medium, sir.
Okay, so Vikas was a student of vernacular medium. अगर आपको ऐसे लगता है कि मैं privileged नहीं हूँ कि अरे मुझे English नहीं आती है, so we have one live example in front of us. Vikas was from vernacular medium.
So like in my school medium, like there are like two kind of the medium, like either Marathi medium or the semi-English medium. Okay. In the semi-English, you have like science and maths, which is in English.
Achha.
And the other subjects are in the Marathi language.
अच्छा, तो semi-English is like आपको science और maths English में होगा और बाकी के subjects आपके मराठी में होंगे. Right.
In my case, it was purely Marathi medium.
अच्छा, मतलब आप semi-English में भी नहीं थे?
नहीं. It was purely Marathi medium.
To be very honest, मुझे ये बात नहीं पता था. I got to know this today.
Okay. Yeah. So like till my 10th. So like the only reason I took the science was I was the topper of the student, like of my school.
Oh, awesome. So Vikas was good in his studies since school. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I won't agree to that because there are things which I'm going to share and you will say, no, things happened in some other way, and that's how like things
Okay.
changed. Yeah.
Okay.
So just because I was a topper of my school, I started studying when I shifted to Kalyan. Before that, I was leaving to some other places.
अच्छा, उसके पहले कहाँ रहते
Yeah.
थे विकास साहब?
So in Mumbai, there is some slum called as a Kaula Bandar Darukana.
Okay.
So I was born and brought up in that slum area.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when I was in the sixth standard, my
Okay.
mom forced my dad to, okay, let's shift from this area
Okay,
because my
okay.
sister was getting, elder throughout
Exactly,
the year.
exactly. एक होता है कि घर
Yeah.
में जो सिक्योरिटी होनी चाहिए
Yeah,
लेडीज को,
yeah.
so family thought, and obviously
Yes, yes.
who better than a mom to understand that.
Yeah. So
So in case you feel कि यार हम इतने privileged नहीं हैं, so we have someone starting his journey from there. Standard 6th, Vikas is getting shifted to a place called Kalyan
Yeah.
in Maharashtra.
yeah.
Yes, Vikas. उसके
So
बाद
like
how
after that,
exactly
when I
it goes.
shifted to Kalyan,
Okay.
so I joined some tuition classes.
Okay.
So that master of the tuition classes used to beat us a lot. So with the fear of not getting beaten up, I started studying. There was a class test. I
Acha.
topped that exam. So after that, I never stopped. Like I felt that feeling, like how you feel actually studying and topping the exam. So after
Once
that-
you taste success, tongue
yeah.
wants more.
More.
ऐसे
Tongue
कपिल
wants
देव ने
more.
कहा था in the
Exactly.
movie 83.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started studying in the 8th, 9th and 10th standard. I used to feel, okay, fine. Like maths I used to do. Okay, I was okay.
What
with
is your
maths.
favorite subject in school, Vikas? Like,
In
what subject you
school,
loved more?
I loved, I think, maths the most.
Maths you
Yeah,
like
yeah,
most.
yeah.
Maths तुमको ज़्यादा पसंद
Yeah.
है, and you're a doctor.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think maths was the reason physics became my favorite subject when I was
अच्छा,
preparing for my
अच्छा.
NEET
Okay.
exam.
Okay.
So like when I came into my 9th and 10th exam, like gave my 10th board,
Okay.
I scored around 87%.
अच्छा.
And I was like, our batch was only for 42 people.
And this was in the year, ये कौन से साल की बात
I
है?
think it is 2014.
2014. अच्छा, 2014 में, 2014 I started preparing for
Yeah.
UPSC. Actually, I gave my first attempt in 2013.
Okay. Your first
Yeah,
attempt.
that was my
Okay.
first attempt. Yeah.
Okay. So like when like the result came out, everyone was very happy around my
That's
like
true.
my friend circle, my family.
And 2014, 87% was a
Yeah.
considerable,
Yeah.
a good percentage.
Yeah.
ऐसा.
And
मतलब these
Of
days
course, like
kids they score 90, like you'll have 10 kids and out of that
Yeah.
10, maybe 8 have scored a 90.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Actually there were people who were more than 90%. There were so many people.
Okay.
But being from the vernacular medium itself is like studying is not a part of life.
Oh,
I must tell you. So like
Acha.
when I went there, like when I started discussing about the further career opportunities, I took it a very random decision that I just want to go for the science.
Okay,
Because
okay.
most of my friends,
They took science.
Yeah, they took science.
So random decision
Yeah,
लिया
it was a
विकास
very
ने,
random decision.
साइंस लेना
Yeah,
है क्योंकि
yeah.
थोड़ा मार्क ज्यादा आया है.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So like I entered like, of course, like the tuition start first and then the college start first.
That's true.
So it was like when I entered into my first lecture for the science. So like like chemistry was the first lecture.
As a
for me.
chemistry first lecture
Yeah.
था.
And organic chemistry.
Okay.
So one teacher enters organic chemistry first lecture hydrocarbon, I think. So he asked the first question: what is saturated hydrocarbons and
Okay.
what is unsaturated hydrocarbons?
Mhm.
And there were around 70-80 people in the classroom. And most of the students started answering the questions. I was wondering what is saturated and what is unsaturated.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
that is a very basic question when you talk about organic chemistry.
Right.
But hearing it for the first time, because let me tell you, like, if I say atom, if you say molecular atom, in Marathi it is like Anu and
Anu
Reni.
and right.
So, like, I've never heard those words.
वो ट्रांजिशन भी
Yeah.
काफी मुश्किल है. right?
Exactly.
मतलब वो लैंग्वेज शिफ्ट हो गया.
Language
मे बी
barrier.
आपको शायद वो उस लैंग्वेज में पता है, बट जैसे ही लैंग्वेज बदला, सो
Exactly.
इट इज
Everything became
टोटली
new for
फॉरेन
me.
टू यू.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Even though I know things, but just because I don't know those things are called as these things.
Okay.
So like I didn't know Anu is called as atom or Renu is
Right,
called as
right,
molecule. So things become very difficult for me to
ऐसे
adjust.
बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं actually,
Actually,
they
yeah,
face
yeah.
this problem.
Actually,
It's difficult for them.
yeah.
Right.
So like I had friends in the classes like when I was in 10th standard.
Okay.
So when I started preparing in the 11th standard, it became very difficult for me.
Right. I can totally understand.
Yeah, I never felt that I belong here
Okay.
till I was almost at the age of completing my 11th standard.
Okay.
So like when I was at the end of my 11th standard, like my dad passed away.
Oh,
So after the passing of my dad, almost 2-3 months, I did not study anything.
okay, okay, okay.
12th, it was very okay. So at one point, I started understanding what are the terms called in biology and
Right, right,
chemistry and
right, right,
physics.
right.
I used to solve the physics के numericals, but it was kind of जो formula based numericals थे, it was easy for me.
But what I can understand is
Yeah.
मुझे जितना समझ रहा है
हाँ.
कि initial phase in 11th standard
Yeah,
जो
yeah.
आपका आपने शुरू किया साइंस लिया,
हाँ.
it was not very easy because एक
Of
तो
course.
language shift and then you are also going through a emotional
Yes,
pain
yeah.
of losing
Yeah.
your father, जिसका
Yeah.
शायद मुझे लगता है कि वो कमी कभी कोई पूरा नहीं कर सकता है
Of
ऐसा.
course नहीं.
क्योंकि मतलब it is some place which your mom and your dad they have in your life.
Right.
See, there can be a lot of people
Yeah,
around
yeah,
you,
yeah.
but it is a void. It is some place which only they can fill.
Fill. Yeah,
and
yeah.
they can give you that feeling. I
Yeah.
totally understand that. Yeah,
So,
because so
yeah.
आगे फिर कैसे, like how was it for you?
I'll tell you like how it started from where.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was my next question. कि मतलब अभी तक ये फेज में तो नीट के बारे में सोचा
There
नहीं
was
है
no discussion at all.
कि नीट, अच्छा नीट के बारे में
Yeah.
पता था कि नहीं पता था?
नहीं पता था.
अच्छा,
Honestly,
आपको पता
yeah.
भी नहीं था कि
नहीं
there is
पता ही
something
नहीं.
called
Yeah.
as NEET.
No.
And what about engineering? Did you like think about?
Yeah. I actually was thinking about doing architecture.
अच्छा, you
Yeah.
thought of going for architecture?
Yeah, because
okay.
my dad was in
अच्छा,
civil engineering.
अच्छा, अच्छा, अच्छा.
He
Okay.
was not in civil engineer, I'll say. He just used to have some civil based works.
अच्छा, अच्छा.
So he always wanted me to go for the architecture field because
अच्छा.
he used to see some architect on his on-site projects and all. So he used to
feel कि मेरा
Yeah,
बेटा
बेटा भी
ऐसा
ऐसा
होगा
कुछ
तो
हो.
it would look
So he
better.
always kept on telling me that okay, you should be an architect. So I was like, okay, let's be an
चलो
architect.
आर्किटेक्ट बनते हैं.
हाँ, तो
Okay.
तब तक there was no point where I felt कि मेरे को life में ये करना है.
Okay.
Like just before the passing of my dad, I was having the conversation with him. So like when he came home, I don't know what happened. Like he was very emotional kind of that day. And we had that conversation and he was talking to me.
Okay.
He never talked to me in that way. But he was very serious and he was telling me about what I should do in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. So that night, he said that, Beta, you should be a doctor.
अच्छा, he implanted basically.
Yeah.
वो implant
Yeah,
कर दिया
yeah.
उन्होंने ऐसा.
So I just had that memory of that night, that conversation where he said, why
Be
don't
a
you
doctor.
become a doctor?
Right.
Because I think on that day, he saw a really good doctor.
अच्छा.
He saw the aura of his, the overall personality he liked a lot.
Okay.
He also mentioned me that thing. So that was the reason. So even after that, I did not realize, okay, what I'm going to do.
Right.
After like 1, 2 or 3 months, I sat and I questioned myself, what next? What next?
Okay.
Because the first question in front of us after the passing of my dad was how to manage
How to survive
how
actually.
to survive.
Because mom आपकी शायद homemaker होगी उसके पहले.
Yeah. Homemaker
So,
and she.
You lived in a joint family, Vikas? Or
No. It was a nuclear family, I'll say.
कौन you are there?
Me, my 2 sisters.
दो बहनें,
Yeah,
sisters
yeah.
आपकी
And the
बड़ी.
sandwiched between
अच्छा, आप
them.
सैंडविच हो गए,
Yeah,
मतलब
sandwich
बड़ी
between them.
बहन है, छोटी बहन है, and you're
Yeah.
okay.
My mother.
And mom.
Yeah.
अच्छा.
And my dad.
Right.
तब तक. So when my dad passed away, so my mother can't read a single word and she can't
Okay.
even
Okay.
understand the letters as well.
Okay.
So if you are trying to tell her the 94 rupees, in Marathi you'll say 94 rupees.
Right.
So you'll tell that okay, it's less than like 6
अच्छा,
rupees
अच्छा.
200.
अच्छा, तो ऐसे बताना पड़ेगा कि
Yeah.
100 रुपए से
Yeah.
6 रुपए कम है.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, तब जाके मामा को समझेगा कि
समझेगा, हाँ.
okay.
So I'll say coming from that background where you don't have anyone to tell what should be the approach of life, you are the one who is going to, explore the things on your own.
Right.
And that was the point where I realized that I need to do something because my mother was looking for job opportunities.
You must be 15, मतलब मुझे लगता है उस वक्त
Yeah,
15, 16 years old.
17, 16,
And
17,
you
yeah.
started feeling responsible
Yeah,
कि
because-
यार अभी तो मुझे ही कुछ करना है ऐसे.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no other option.
No other option.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like my mom started looking for the job opportunities, but she
Okay.
was not able to get anything
Obviously.
because like of the education thing and all.
हाँ.
So like there was some firm and all through that she got the job opportunity.
Okay.
So the first job she started was starting like her housekeeping work.
Okay.
So
okay.
झाड़ू पोछे का काम कर रहे हैं and all,
Okay.
cleaning the toilets and all.
So, if at all you
Yeah.
feel you're not privileged, remember, guys, we have someone sitting here,
Yeah.
you know, who has come from that humble background.
Yeah.
Okay. And that thought, जो नीट का है ना, that is budding in his head
Yeah.
at this point of time, and he's already there in his 12th standard. So,
Yeah.
how did it go ahead from there,
Yeah.
Vikas?
So like that moment when actually she started working as a housekeeping servant in the Fortis hospital in Kalyan.
Acha, Fortis hospital. mein.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, the stories revolved. So when my mom used to come home after work, she used to tell us like doctors ka ho raha, how the
Okay.
like what kind of the respect they get.
Acha.
What is like what does it feel like saving the life of someone? This kind of the discussion
Okay.
used to happen. And when she started working,
Mm-hmm.
there was a moment where I felt okay. That was a actual discussion which happened with me and between me and my dad.
Dad, right.
Like just a day before his passing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what my mom is also telling me.
Okay.
And that was a moment where I started exploring the options about the medical field.
कि अभी जाना है अपने को
Yeah,
इसमें और
yeah.
कैसे जाना है.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
we have to find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
तब मेरे को पता चला there is something called as NEET.
अच्छा.
Of course, idea था,
हाँ,
but
हाँ,
NEET 720 marks का होता है.
Okay.
Everything.
Right.
I explored all these options once
True.
I, build that mindset ki, okay, this is what I want to do.
Right.
Like, also there were so many emotional aspects like attached with that. So my elder sister, she already completed her 12th standard. She was doing her degree, like BCom degree.
अच्छा.
While she was in the first year or second year of her BCom, she started working in
Right.
McDonald's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. अच्छा. So sister is also taken responsibility.
Yeah.
She's
So,
working in McD.
Yes, and managing her college.
Managing her college
Yes.
too. Okay.
So it used to happen that most of the time she used to bunk her college just because she had the workload and all.
Right.
So I'll say she kind of sacrificed her own career goals, educational point of view, say, just because so that I can study.
Okay.
Yeah, because I made my mind that I want to go for the medical.
दो माँ है तुम्हारे पास.
Yeah,
right?
of course I'll say
दो
3.
माँ.
My younger sister as
yes,
well.
That's true.
Yeah, so like when I started preparing, I needed some good tuitions and all to manage the tuition fees and all. We had to have some financial sources. So what we did is like my elder sister used to earn like around 8-9K a month.
Okay.
So with that we used to manage our monthly expenses.
8-9K is 8,000-9,000 rupees
Yeah.
हर महीने की इनकी सिस्टर अर्न कर रही थी एंड मोम वाज अर्निंग वो
The same,
हाउस कीपिंग
yeah,
में थे
same
हॉस्पिटल में उनकी भी सैलरी ऑलमोस्ट उतनी थी
Yeah. So
एंड बिकॉज उस वक्त 12th स्टैंडर्ड में थे
yeah,
he
just
was
entered into the
हाँ मतलब
12th
11वीं
standard.
दे के he was in 12th.
Yeah.
Right. And
So after that, like, so we managed my fees, tuition
finances
fees.
किसी तरीके से
Yeah,
मैनेज
कुछ
किया
तो
गया.
करते कैसे करते.
राइट बिकॉज आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि मुंबई में आप अगर ये आपकी पूरी मंथली इनकम इज अराउंड 20,000 जिसमें से 3 बच्चे हैं पढ़ने वाले हैं आपको घर मैनेज करना है खर्चे मैनेज करने हैं ट्रैवलिंग मैनेज करना है ट्यूशन फीस मैनेज करना है सो इट इज वेरी
Very
डिफिकल्ट टू मैनेज.
True.
मतलब यहाँ पे लाख रुपए भी लोगों को कम पड़ रहे हैं
Yeah.
एंड दिस मस्ट बी ईयर 2015
15,
16
16.
15-16 में Vikas is actually
Yeah.
in this situation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, Vikas.
At that time, while working in the hospital and all,
अच्छा.
my mom suffered from the TB.
अच्छा.
So just
because मम्मी
Yeah.
हॉस्पिtal में काम
Yeah,
कर रहे
she
थे,
got-
patients के साथ डील कर रहे थे,
So she got
तो
exposed
exposed to tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Okay.
and she got infected, and I think because
Okay.
of that she had to stop working there
अच्छा.
because the hospital
Okay.
management.
And this
asked
is
not-
आपके एग्जाम्स के पहले, right?
exams के पहले, yeah.
एग्जाम्स के पहले मतलब अभी आपने बोर्ड एग्जाम्स और नीट एग्जाम्स लिखी नहीं है.
नहीं है. Yeah.
एंड दिस अनदर
Yeah,
दिस इज द अदर ट्रेजेडी
yeah,
जो फैमिली को हिट करती है.
Yeah.
मतलब 1.5 साल के स्पैन में
There are so many
डैडी
things. Yeah.
गए
Yeah.
फैमिली का सिचुएशंस बदला है.
Yeah.
मॉम काम कर रहे थे बट
Yeah.
देन उनको भी
Yeah.
हेल्थ इश्यूज आ रहे
Yeah.
हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ट्यूबरकुलोसिस. ओके.
So after
How
that,
what was your mental status at that point of time?
I know it's very difficult to put in words. Like
I
how
understand.
you
और आप तभी छोटे भी, you must be a
छोटे थे,
small.
and when you go through this phase, no, you don't realize what exactly
What you're going
things-
through,
Yeah,
right.
going through. I think you feel like it is a part of your life, and you keep on going.
Exactly.
And when you look back, you realize ki, okay, this was the journey where we came from.
Right.
So like after that, when she started looking for some job options, she was
Okay.
not able to find anything. So she started selling vegetables at the place where we live.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we bought some small एक छोटा सा shop,
अच्छा.
and वहाँ पे she started selling. Used to have the tuitions in the morning to afternoon slot.
अच्छा.
So like throughout the day, after coming from the lectures, I used to study. And in the evening time, when there was a time to cook the dinner,
Mm-hmm.
so she used to come upstairs and I used to go there.
अच्छा.
And I used to, sit there for 1 or 2 hours
Okay.
and then study over there and do whatever.
So
like I can
this
do.
is ये कुछ ऐसी चीजें
Yeah.
हो रही हैं. Vikas is about to write his board exams
Yeah.
and NEET exams.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And because mom is not keeping well.
Yeah.
उनकी जॉब नहीं है.
Yeah.
वो वेजिटेबल
Yeah,
सेल कर रहे हैं.
yeah,
And Vikas, as a responsible
Yeah.
child, I would say,
yeah,
helping mom after his studies.
yeah.
Matlab, I just want all my audiences, to, take a pause here and think, कि आपके लाइफ में ऐसी क्या प्रॉब्लम है ना, which is bigger than this problem and it is not allowing you to take that step. And you feel, there are reasons outside which, won't allow you to do certain things. Okay, the reason is not outside. The reason is in your head, guys. Clear it out and just take that step. Everything is possible.
True.
Yes, Vikas.
Agree to that. Things happened for 2-3 months. We were not able to sustain. So again, we tried something else. She kept on trying something else so
Okay.
that we can.
Actually, मुझे लगता है वो never die attitude has
Yeah,
come
yeah.
from mom.
Mom, of course,
Right.
I'll say. Because she never felt like, okay, I'm going through this phase and this is where we belong.
She is a warrior.
Yeah.
No doubt.
definitely,
Moms
definitely,
are
no
actually
doubt.
warriors. Yeah.
Yes. I remember that moment and just very close to my heart. That exact moment. Because after the passing of my dad, we never
Mhm.
discussed about how it feels at home.
Okay.
So like we were not able to sustain while we were going like that vegetable thing and all. So one day my mom wakes up at around 4-5 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
She goes to around market, like the
Acha.
vegetable market. She buys around 1 carrot of fruits,
अच्छा.
like orange and all.
Carrot is the
Like the
वो पूरा
पूरा set.
टोकरी
Yeah,
ऐसे
yeah,
मान
yeah,
लूं मैं.
yeah.
Okay.
And in the Kalyan station only, she sat there to sell that.
अच्छा.
And my elder sister, she was going for the store. Like I
Acha.
told you that she was working
हाँ
in
हाँ
McD.
अच्छा वो मैकडी में
Yeah.
जा रहे थे.
So she was
And
going along
मम्मी
with,
वहाँ पर
yeah,
थी.
mummy वहाँ
Okay.
पर थी. And all of us, we didn't know. Actually, her friend saw that. Like my mom is sitting over there, and she didn't know. My sister started crying over there when she saw my mom. Grabbed the hand of my mom and she asked her to let's go home. So दीदी भी उस दिन घर पे गई नहीं. I was sitting in the home. We didn't know that this is something which had happened. Like तभी we all cried. And that was a moment where I decided, like, I don't want this life. This, like, we all are struggling for the basic things in our life.
That's true.
We made the mind where I actually made the mind that abhi rukna nahi hai. Abhi jo bhi hoga, I have to do it. Matlab, maybe there will be a point where it will be very difficult for us to, have the basic things in life. But I think we'll go through it because we already are going through it.
Right.
And we have already been through it. So it became a part of my life to have this kind of the feeling. And if you believe in something and if you start working on it, things will happen.
Things will work.
Yeah.
Things will work.
So I gave my NEET exam with that, all these
Yes,
things
yes,
happening
yes.
around me in my life. So I think I score around 340 or 330.
330.
373, I guess. when I
Out
gave
of
my-
720. So
Out of 720,
Vikas is scoring somewhere around 330, 340 out of 720, which
Yeah.
is very difficult.
Yeah.
a
Yeah, of course.
score
of course,
to
of course.
get into NEET. जो भी एग्जाम्स दे रहे हैं वो जानते हैं
Yeah.
कि NEET में अगर गवर्नमेंट मेडिकल कॉलेज चाहिए
That too, if you're in the open category.
yeah, then your
Yeah.
score has to be really on the other side.
Yeah.
It has to be more than
More
at
than-
least 650 these days.
These days. Tabhi it was 500.
earlier, yeah,
490,
मतलब 17, 18 में
Yeah.
550 used to be a very good score.
Yeah.
And 600, 650 was like,
Yes.
यार आपने बहुत अच्छा score
बहुत
किया,
अच्छा
you will
score
get
किया.
into a good medical college.
Yes.
ऐसा, that was the situation.
Yeah.
So because what happens now? So you are at 330.
Yeah.
You have decided यार कि
Yeah.
अभी अपने को घर का मतलब जो family है उसकी life तो बदलनी है.
हाँ. Okay, so I decided after that I want to go for the repeat.
अच्छा, आपने डिसाइड कर लिया कि अभी
Yeah.
मुझे रिपीट तो करना है.
Yeah.
हाँ, because obviously you're a doctor
Yes.
and if you have scored 330,
Yeah.
obviously you're not getting into NEET.
Yeah, so
Right,
like
so decide कर लिया है, repeat करना है.
करना है.
So was that the time जब हम मिले थे? Okay, so मेरी एंट्री वहां पर हुई है विकास के
Yes,
लाइफ में.
exactly. 2000.
Yes, 17 में
17,
मैं
yeah.
विकास को पहली बार मिला था and I can still remember मेरा पहला लेक्चर था. विकास was there and as he said he was absolutely brilliant in mathematics.
Yeah.
I can actually remember our very first
Physical
interaction.
chemistry, yeah.
Physical chemistry का lecture चल रहा था.
I think it was states of matter.
It was states of matter. He
Yeah,
remembers the
yeah,
chapter also. Yeah.
6-7 years.
Yeah,
still
it's
fresh.
almost 8 years
8
now.
years,
25,
yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
Right, Vikas. So you start your journey.
Yeah.
अब यहाँ से हमको repeat करना है
Yeah,
exam.
yeah.
Okay.
So like the first hurdle for me was
Huh.
like managing the fees, like how to go for it.
Yes.
I actually wanted to go there like because it was in Mulund, like the classes
Yeah.
for which
I'll just explain.
Yeah.
It's like विकास अभी रह रहे कल्याण में. मुलुंड इज लाइक थोड़ी दूर पे है. अराउंड एक 25 किलोमीटर दूर एक जगह है. स्लाइटली बेटर डेवलप्ड अगर आप कंपेयर करेंगे कल्याण से तो. सो थोड़ी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फैसिलिटीज अच्छी है. थोड़े बेटर कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स है. जहाँ पर विकास और मैं भी पहली बार ही मिले हैं. राइट. सो विकास का जर्नी अब कल्याण से मुलुंड आ रहा है विकास फॉर लर्निंग हिज फॉर हिज नीट. ही इज रिपीटिंग नीट नाउ दिस ईयर. या.
So like chemistry was a nightmare for me.
Okay.
Just because of that first experience.
I am a chemistry professor.
I was good with physics, but chemistry was actually a nightmare for me.
Okay.
Especially, I think, organic chemistry.
Okay.
It was a nightmare for me. Of course, like physical chemistry as well. So.
But physical chemistry is mathematics.
Yeah.
अच्छा विकास, मुझे एक बात बताओ कि सी जब तुम कल्याण से मुलुंड में आए, सो एक एनवायरनमेंट शिफ्ट हुआ होगा.
बहुत ज्यादा. It was a drastic change for me.
ड्रास्टिक चेंज था बिकॉज जो बच्चों के साथ अभी आप इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हो, जिनके साथ डिस्कस कर रहे हो, दे आर मे बी मोर फोकस्ड. उनकी बैकग्राउंड थोड़ी सी अलग है. सो हाउ डिड यू आपने वो सारी चीजों को कैसे अंडरस्टैंड किया? व्हाट वाज योर फीलिंग? तुम्हारी क्या लर्निंग थी?
Okay.
ऐसा what used to go in your head at that point of time? Am I good enough?
Yeah.
Am I a match to these kids? Like what exactly was it?
Again, like I'll tell you, the shifting to Mulund for my education and all, I think that was a turning point of my life, I'll say.
Okay.
Because this is a point I feel that changed my life completely.
Okay.
The approach, I think, my own mentality, what I think about myself,
Okay.
what I think about life, how it should be.
Right.
Because I was never exposed to all this kind of the things.
Okay.
Yeah, this kind of the teaching methodologies, approach about NEET exam.
Right.
All this mentality, the tough mentality about NEET exam, I developed from that point onward.
That's
when
true.
I started with
That's true. So can I say कि environment जो होता है आपका, वो एक बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है in shaping you.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Definitely, sir. Like,
So it's very important to choose your environment. So my audience, my suggestion, choose your environment wisely. It has the potential to create you or destroy you depending on what is your choice, right?
True, sir.
Yes, Vikas. It's getting interesting.
Coming to that point only, like my friends where I used to prepare for my NEET exam, they're not serious about things.
Right.
Of course, and the study material, everything. But when I came here, it was completely different.
Okay.
I think the quality of education matters a lot. It is the best thing which can happen to you.
Exactly.
Because
and I feel we always keep learning. We always keep getting educated. It's just that
in a
हमारा
proper way.
perception,
Yeah.
Exactly. It has to be communicated in
Exactly.
a proper way. I
Yeah.
can understand that.
Of course, the surrounding part. I'll come to that later, like the quality and all.
ठीक है.
But the surrounding part, as we are discussing,
Yeah.
because like when I saw that people around me are very focused,
Right.
they have very different kind of the life, and I started dreaming that okay, I want to be
on that side.
that side.
Right.
I was very happy with the level of the teaching which was happening around me. You, other teachers,
Right,
everything.
right.
So everything was happening so great when it came to teaching.
Right.
So when I gave that first chapter test and I topped that exam,
Okay.
that was the first moment where I felt that I belong here.
Oh,
And this platform belongs to me.
that's
And I'm going to perform and give my best on this stage.
that is so amazing.
That actually, when I look back now, sir, I really feel that, okay, that was a moment where I actually started my journey.
So what I feel is there is a pattern in you, right? Because it's like if you taste that success once, that triggers you.
triggers
That is
you.
what I
That triggers you.
understand. Yes.
Yeah.
And once you've done that, and
Yeah.
once you realize,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it is doable,
Yeah.
then you're on your journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
So you
this-
got to keep this point in your mind for the
Yeah.
rest of your life.
Right. True.
Yes. कभी कंप्लेन किया अपने आप से, कंप्लेन किया ऐसा कि
खुद को कोसा भी है.
खुद को कोसा भी है कि अरे यार मैं ऐसा क्यों था, या मेरे को ये इतना कम क्यों मिल रहा है, कम क्यों मिल रहा है मतलब व्हाई डू आई नॉट हैव अ स्ट्रॉन्ग फैमिली बैकग्राउंड, या मेरी एजुकेशन वर्नाक्युलर से क्यों हुई यार, आईसीएसई से हुई होती तो कितना बेटर होता, और यू डिड नॉट पे मच अटेंशन टू दिस. इट वाज लाइक ठीक है यार ये है तो है, I just have to find solution to whatever is there. I cannot change certain things, but let us focus on the things that can be changed, right? So what was your thought, Vikas? Like ये thought
Of
आया
course,
कभी
that
दिमाग में
frustration
ऐसे?
was always there. Like
अच्छा.
not being a part of like English medium, always there.
Right.
Like if you don't have anything and you see things much better than what you have,
Okay.
you always feel like काश मेरे पास भी होता.
That's true.
But again, I knew like from the background where I came from, like nobody in my family till now was even a 10th plus graduate.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like my elder sister was the first, and
To
then
go to degree college.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
and then me trying to dream about medical thing, getting into MBBS was a big dream for me.
It is actually, मुझे ऐसा लगता है it is the best feeling that one can have in life. मतलब see, the distractions will always give you that kick.
Yeah.
But that achievement has a different level of kick, which no distractions can ever match.
Ever match. True.
I have actually felt it in my past. That's
Okay.
why I can totally relate
Okay.
to what you're saying. Yeah.
So like because people keep on asking you like how much time do you dedicate for your studies and all. Because if you're into that thing, no, it doesn't matter. Like you don't count the time.
Right.
You keep on working on that thing.
That's true.
Unless and until that thing happens. So after that, I used to study according to my chapter tests,
Right.
weekly chapter
Right,
tests.
right.
So it went so well for me throughout the year. I
Mhm.
did so well that when we started with the mock test, I used to perform almost in every mock test. I used to score more than 580, 600.
Okay. At that point
At
of
that
time,
point of time,
580,
it was-
600 was
600
like,
was a big deal for us.
this candidate is amazing. ऐसे ही discussions होते थे हमारे भी
yes.
with respect to any student who is scoring that much.
Yeah. And we knew like there was a time when like physics teacher used to give us a numerical and I used to solve essay, mentally without using the pen and paper.
Yes.
So once you keep on doing that thing, you understand the fact that okay, now
You're
अभी-
almost there.
yeah,
अभी हो
almost
जाएगा,
there.
इस बार
अभी
अपना
हो जाएगा.
होगा.
Yes.
Okay.
Then continue होते गया. I gave my exam. On the day of my exam, I also cried like because my mom is working. So when I came out of the exam center, I
Okay.
definitely knew that I'm going to score a very good score, decent score.
Okay.
I rushed to my home. The solution came like immediately. Like
Immediately answer की तो आ जाता
Same
है.
day
We
they
check
give
the
the-
answer
yeah,
key and all.
I checked it. I think it was almost 600 plus 610 के around it was
Okay.
going.
Okay. So 610, 300 से हमारा लड़का सीधा 100% का
Yeah,
जंप
yeah.
लाया है. 600 he is scoring
And
in this
then-
attempt.
Yeah. Then I think okay, when like after a month the result declared. and,
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew that I was not surprised with the fact that like this thing is going to happen and all. So yeah, things happen in that way. Like
Okay.
till
okay.
now,
Yes,
like
yes,
till
yes,
me.
yes.
I'll tell you the backstory also.
Ha, ha, ha.
So like while I was doing repeating for like this 1 year, my mom again started the same housekeeping work, but not
Acha.
in the Fortis hospital. There is one best dermatologist in like
Okay.
Kalyan only.
तो उनकी बेटी भी नीट एग्जाम लिख रही थी.
Yes.
एंड यू ऑल्सो वर राइटिंग.
Yeah,
सो तुम
yeah.
दोनों ने साथ में एग्जाम लिखा है?
साथ में
अच्छा,
exam
अच्छा,
लिखा है.
अच्छा,
I think
okay.
it was the second or third repeat. Second repeat, I guess.
अच्छा.
I'm not sure.
अच्छा.
And I called my mom. Okay, like this is my result and my
Acha.
rank is like around 100 and something. And she started giving the sweets to the
अच्छा.
workplace and all.
अच्छा. अच्छा.
And when my mom gave it to Dr. Mukesha, he was not able to believe, like for the fact.
कि ऐसा कैसा हो सकता है
हाँ, like,
करके. Is it really possible?
Is it really possible?
Right,
Because
right,
he
right.
felt like माझ्या इकडे घरकाम करण्याची बाई येते. Her son is scoring 600.
उनकी डॉटर, उनकी सन,
उनकी daughter.
डॉटर
Yeah.
ना. हाँ हाँ हाँ.
So like माझ्या इकडे like in Marathi
हाँ,
also
yes, yes,
he
yes.
kept on saying like the person who works at me is doing the housekeeping work.
Right.
And, her son is able to clear the exam with such a huge score.
अच्छा, now I understood the context. Yes.
And my daughter, to whom I'm trying to,
मतलब सारी facilities है, सब कुछ
everything,
available है.
And trying since last 2-3 years.
Exactly.
He's not able to
Not
clear
happening.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
He was not even able to believe. So he asked my mom to call me and bring my result along with me. So I went to his clinic, I took my result, and then after that also he was not able to believe.
Oh my God.
He took the roll number, he searched it.
अच्छा, वो search करके देखा उन्होंने कि is it fake or okay.
Yeah. And then he finally believed the fact, and he stood up, he hugged me, and he legit had the tears of that joy. Yeah. In his eyes.
That is beautiful. I always feel, if you can enjoy people's success, that is one of the best feelings to have.
Yeah.
A lot of people, envy when other people get success. I feel you got to love that.
Yeah.
Because that's a different feeling altogether.
Yes.
And it's a feeling or it's a value that everyone must instill, in them.
I think it's a very beautiful thing to, that enjoy the success of someone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes the success feels personal.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Out of the context, yesterday's civil services results came.
Yeah.
My friend, he mentors candidates. I also go for mock interviews, and we took around 3 interviews. Out of those 3, 2 people have cracked the exam.
Okay.
I had a conversation with him yesterday, and it felt really amazing.
Okay.
मतलब मैंने तो क्या किया? I went home, and the only thing that I did was I just kept on watching Aspirants.
Okay.
Yeah, because वो web series है, वो based है UPSC पे. Yeah, so it is amazing. People just enjoy success even if you are not there. कोई और है, enjoy करो. It will come to you someday. If at all you're working for it.
One day.
Yes.
Someday,
Yes.
Yeah. True.
Okay, so Vikas, फिर आगे का journey फिर कैसे शुरू हुआ? Like you are done with your NEET exam, you have cracked NEET, right? And now here onwards you have to go ahead and take admission. So let us know about your college. कौन से college में admission मिला?
Again, I was gonna get any medical college in the Mumbai.
Okay.
I wanted to get into JJ. That
JJ hospital अपने को चाहिए था.
Grand Government Medical College.
Yes. Grand Government Medical College. Okay.
The only reason I wanted to get into this college was that attendance part of this college is not that strict compared to the other medical college. I wanted to do some part-time work.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So the reason is, he wants this thing so that he can support himself.
Yeah.
For his education, right?
Yeah.
So people should not think कि अरे यार मतलब ऐसा है तो चलो फायदा है कॉलेज नहीं अटेंड करेंगे. तो it is for some productive work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started with my first year. It was, I'll say, again a roller coaster ride because every medical student goes through it because first year mein you have subjects like anat, physio and biochem.
Anat is anatomy, right? Okay.
And then physiology and then biochemistry.
एंड फिर वो एक ट्रांजिशन भी होगा.
ट्रांजिशन हो गया.
मतलब 12th स्टैंडर्ड तक भी आप एक सिक्योर एनवायरनमेंट में है वेयर इन आपके शायद मेंटोर से जो आपको गाइड कर रहे हैं एट एवरी फेज ऐसे करना है वैसे करना है.
स्पून फीडिंग हो रहा है.
स्पून फीडिंग हो रहा है
जैसे आपने हमारे लिए किया. तो
then there is a transition.
There is no spoon feeding after you're done with your NEET and all. So for example, for bio we had only 2 textbooks 11th and 12th mein.
That's right.
But when you get into the first year, you realize that when you're studying for one system, let's say cardiovascular system, you have a book written on it.
Cardiovascular system पे पूरी book है.
Yeah. So then you realize, okay, पहले जो चीजें था वो sorted था. Right. Then you realize कि 11th and 12th में what I was preparing, I used to feel it's a big thing for me. This is too much to learn for me. When you get into the first year, you feel like, oh, that was nothing. This is too much now. So so always keep on telling yourself, all the aspirants who are planning to, get their NEET exam. I keep on telling them that things in future are going to be much more than what you're thinking.
Much more complicated.
Yeah.
मतलब अभी जो दिख रहा है वो सबसे easiest phase है today.
Yes.
Tomorrow it is going to be slightly more complicated. उसके अगले दिन वो उससे और थोड़ा ज़्यादा complicated होने वाला है. Okay.
So the day I gave my NEET exam, I'll थोड़ा सा get back to how it happened. So the day I gave my NEET exam, I wanted to start some part-time work along with my college studies and all. I think in the May month, first Sunday is the
नीट
NEET
एग्जाम
exam.
होता है पहले संडे को.
Then after it takes around 2-3 months to start your college. So I had that 3 months
yes
of
और वो
phase.
कैसे टाइम ज्यादा है मेडिकल केयर में ना, राउंड्स हैं,
exactly.
so it takes time, you have time.
So the place where I, again, the same coaching institute where we met.
Yes.
So I went there and asked them for some part-time work.
मतलब नॉर्मली एक ऐसे होता है कि वेकेशन हो गया, अभी मेरा नीट एग्जाम हो गया, अब मैं एंजॉय करने वाला हूँ, अब मुझे इधर घूमने जाना है, अब मुझे उधर जाना है.
True.
राइट. सो विकास के दिमाग में ये चल रहा है कि what is the next job that I have to take?
Because I had to pay my college fees, first year college. It was around 1 lakh for me.
Achha.
Because again, open category student, you don't get any chances to lessen the fees. So the first question after like my exam was in front of me was like, how to manage my college fees.
Okay.
So I took that thing like, I made my mind that I want to do some part-time work.
Right. So what was the job?
The job was, I think, segregating questions.
Achha.
I think it was in the back office only. I think
back
you must
office
have been there. Like
yes.
So like you just need to segregate the question according to the level.
Right.
If you feel this is a very good question, you have to level it as 1 or
right,
A.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 level. Like the basic question is level 4.
Exactly.
If you are applying the formula, just applying the formula.
सीधा मतलब डायरेक्ट सॉल्व कर दिया तो लेवल 4 का क्वेश्चन है.
ऐसा.
Okay.
So that was my job.
Okay. मैनेज कैसे करते थे कॉलेज, फिर लेक्चर्स, बिकॉज लेक्चर्स में भी कुछ कमिटमेंट्स होते होंगे, फिर एग्जाम्स भी होगी, एंड उधर इंटरनल्स वगैरह. सो कैसे मैनेज किया विकास?
It was very difficult actually.
प्लस यू स्टे इन कल्याण. आपका कॉलेज है भाईकला इज ऑलमोस्ट लाइक CST.
So
कल्याण से CST का जर्नी टेक्स ऑलमोस्ट 1-1.5 घंटे का, 1.25-2 घंटे का जर्नी है. वो तो मैं ट्रेन की ट्रैवलिंग की सिर्फ बात कर रहा हूँ. फिर आप घर से स्टेशन जाओगे, वहां से कॉलेज जाओगे,
मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 2 hours,
2-2.5 घंटे की जर्नी वन साइड है. मतलब दिन में आप 5 घंटे तो सिर्फ ट्रैवल कर रहे हो. फिर कॉलेज टाइम है, फिर उसमें
लोकल ट्रेन वाज माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड.
योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड. फिर उसके अलावा आपको लेक्चर्स भी लेने. दैट्स हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू मैनेज एवरीथिंग. Okay.
So like what I used to do, catch up the train 7 a.m. in the morning. I used to have the lectures in the like starting from the 9 a.m.
अच्छा, तो मतलब सुबह कॉलेज के लेक्चर्स 9 बजे शुरू होते थे. Okay.
And then lectures, my college lectures, everything till 3-4 p.m. So while coming back, what I used to do was like, that like when I used to leave by 4 p.m, the train used to be a bit empty. So tabhi thoda bahut like my college ka like some notes and all I used to study.
ट्रेन में पढ़ लेते थे
थोड़ा बहुत. And ट्रेन में study करना, that habit was from my 11th, like repeat I'll say.
वहां से ही वो बन गया था, because वो तभी मुलुंड और कल्याण की जर्नी होती थी.
Yes.
Okay.
तो ट्रेन में पढ़ना was a very
normal thing
for me,
for you. Okay.
So I used to utilize that time, train traveling ka time, for my studies.
Okay.
My personal, like my college studies.
Right.
Then while coming back to my home, I used to get down at Bhandup and take the lectures.
अच्छा, मतलब रिटर्न आते टाइम ट्रेन में पढ़ लिया.
Yes, पढ़ लिया.
फिर उतर के लेक्चर भी ले लिया. और फिर घर like. और फिर कॉलेज के कुछ असाइनमेंट्स वगैरह होते थे.
after going home.
उसके बाद घर जाने के बाद, मतलब रात को सोना भी 1-2 बजे के पहले नहीं होता.
I think 12 o'clock तक I used to finish and wake up at
12 बजे तक वाइंड अप करके, बट सुबह 7 बजे घर से फिर निकलना.
But my lectures not used to be for the whole week.
अच्छा.
I started taking lectures like for 2 days and then 3 days.
अच्छा, मतलब सारे दिन लेक्चर्स नहीं ले रहे थे. Okay.
So that day I used to manage, थोड़ा बहुत studies and थोड़ा बहुत lectures.
Okay.
On weekends I used to take a lot of lectures.
अच्छा.
All the teachers do that, I think. So so this is how my first year, second year went.
Okay. So was it a smooth journey? Like एक system set हो गया था विकास, या फिर इसमें भी you were facing problems, या कुछ तो hurdles आ रहे थे which you were solving, या फिर more or less नहीं सर sorted था थोड़ा system?
Actually sir, I must tell you, like once I joined my MBBS, I say my life changed completely. Like
okay.
Yeah, because then I saw things which I used to just imagine.
उसके पहले,
like for example, getting into a medical college, imagining a medical college.
And so now you are in a medical college. But कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ऐसा लगता है ना विकास कि for you, medical या medicine है ना, तुम्हारे एंट्री करने से पहले ही तुम्हारे लाइफ में आ गया था.
Right.
मतलब मॉम का जैसे तुमने बताया,
True.
शी वर्कड विद फोर्टिस,
True. True.
देन शी वर्कड विद दैट डॉक्टर इन योर
yeah.
एरिया.
Yes.
तो
Yes.
कहीं ना
I
कहीं
think
मुझे
these
लग रहा है
things were
कि या
bound
वो
to-
कहीं ना
yeah.
कहीं वो मेडिकल वाज
Always bound to
yeah,
happen.
bound
I
to
don't know, out of
happen.
nowhere. Where
yes
yeah.
yes yes, वो कनेक्शन दिख रहा है ऐसे
दिख
कुछ
रहा
तो भी.
है. Exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, like I never realized that thing actually. Like when you talked a bit, then I
Yeah.
realized. Yeah. So this is how my first and second year went.
Right. But मतलब it was a very मतलब for you it was like you were at high.
Yeah,
ऐसा.
and that was a great feeling. I'll tell you because from that point onward, I did not let my mom to work because
That's
that
really
is the point
amazing.
when I get
and
into MBBS.
incredible.
Yeah, she stopped working.
Acha,
Mom,
so
yeah.
now you are also managing your home
Yeah,
and
yeah,
college. Fees and all. Mom is at home taking
Yes,
rest.
exactly.
And all.
So,
That's so good.
Yeah, so managing
And
her.
what about sister?
Yeah, so while I was in second year, she got married. Like
Acha, second year mein she got married.
Yeah, the elder sister she got married, and my younger sister she was starting with her graduation.
Acha.
Yeah, she was I think in the first year.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after the marriage of my sister, again the things became more difficult because the overall responsibility of the family came
Puri
to
shoulders,
me.
तुम्हारे shoulders.
So like my managing my personal educational life, then financially I need to pay my college fees,
right,
manage my college fees, and then just get into this teaching thing.
Exactly.
Of course, like teaching in Mumbai is not an easy task because
that's true.
Because the level of the students which we have over here is very difficult and very different.
Demanding, you can say.
It's very demanding. So coping up with that and managing your own stuff is kind of very difficult.
I understand.
So,
but good you managed and you were capable enough to manage it.
Then COVID came.
Right.
And everything stopped suddenly. So like I had some online teaching opportunities.
Okay.
I kept on doing that. I kept on working my third year and fourth year K subjects. I think it was second and third year which went into the
COVID phase,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So during the third year, the college opens. I again restart doing my offline teaching and all.
Okay.
Then I think my fourth year final year exam came.
Okay.
So before that, I took a long break for around 1.5 months.
College exams के लिए. Okay.
And it always used to happen with me, like
कि college exams के पहले break लेना है because obviously पढ़ने का time तो चाहिए.
Yes. So तब वो phase में it used to become a bit difficult for us to manage,
right? Because आप काम पे नहीं जा रहे हो, so obviously,
yes.
And you are getting paid for the number of hours of lectures that you are taking. तो आप जितने घंटे lectures ले रहे हो उतने घंटे के लिए
it's not a fixed salary.
Fixed salary नहीं है. तो आपने जितनी मेहनत की आपको उतने पैसे मिल गए.
Yes, that's the problem of freelancing, right?
Yeah.
So I think
धमकी वमकी मिली कभी
कि
मेडिकल कॉलेज के टाइम में अगर मैंने छुट्टी ले लिया तो सर आपका लेक्चर्स बंद कर दिया जाएगा?
ऐसा धमकी तो नहीं, बट ऐसा हुआ ही है एक्चुअली.
अच्छा, हुआ है.
हाँ, एक दो बार हुआ भी.
Okay.
Then
I still remember actually we had a conversation. अपनी बात हुई थी.
I think that was a phase, no?
Yes. So Vikas was telling me कि ऐसे कोई तो बोल रहा है. So I told him कि see your goal is to become a doctor. Yeah, so don't leave that. Okay, leave everything else for becoming a doctor. Yeah.
Then I think this is how things went.
Yeah.
Then I took a long break. I gave my final year. I passed. Then again, I wanted to do some part-time work. Because in our med school in our state, when we start with the internship after your final year,
तो internship कहाँ से किया विकास?
In the same medical school.
Same medical school.
JJ only, yeah.
Okay. So JJ must be like your second home now.
Yeah, of course. Like so many emotions bound to the college.
So many emotions.
Of course.
What do you feel about the college? Matlab, if I have to just ask you ki, give me two strongly worded emotions, or two strong worded emotions that you feel for the college.
The first thing which I'll say is the environment which I got, because JJ is a college where people come from all around the India, pan India. So you get to meet with so many people,
right,
coming from different localities.
Okay.
So you understand.
So एक तो diversity feeling है.
Yes. You'll meet people coming from Rajasthan, Gujarat, from north part of the India, south part of the India.
Okay.
Even in the our state only, you'll get to meet so many people from the Vidarbha, Marathwada. So it was again the environment aspect.
And how is your friend circle? Like you have got friends there?
Of course, so many friends.
Amazing
Yes,
friends
so
you
many
have.
amazing
Or-
friends.
Okay.
I think if you ask me one particular thing, I'll say the friends which I got
Okay.
during my
Okay.
med school. Because as I said, like our initial discussion, that your
Mhm.
surrounding matters a lot.
That's true.
And we used to have fun. We used to, study together, do all the funs along with each other.
Okay.
But again,
कॉलेज हॉस्टल में ऐसे रुक के टाइम पास किया है?
in the final year,
फाइनल ईयर में
first
किया है?
second year तक travel किया, then COVID, and then third
अच्छा,
year
अच्छा,
तक
अच्छा,
COVID.
अच्छा, okay,
So
okay,
final year was very hectic for us.
okay.
We used to
कॉलेज फेस्टिवल एंड ऑल यूज्ड टू अटेंड?
yes, everything.
एवरीथिंग ऐसा? अच्छा,
I-
वो मिस नहीं
Yeah,
किया
that was the best part of JJ actually.
अच्छा,
Yeah, because JJ is very well known for the college fest.
okay.
It's the best medical college to get into if you want to enjoy the extracurricular activities
Acha,
along with your studies.
acha.
Yeah,
And medical wise, obviously, undoubtedly, JJ is one of the best.
best. It's
institutes.
top 10
Yes,
institute.
yes. So ये फिर US का thought कहाँ से आया?
Yeah. I think in the end, at the end of my final year, when I was supposed to mid of my final year, where everybody start preparing for their NEET PG exam.
Right.
NEET UG and then NEET
UG
PG.
and then NEET
NEET
PG. NEET PG is basically when you want to go for your masters.
Masters, yeah.
Right.
Either
You
in
are now MBBS doctor,
MBBS,
correct?
Yeah.
And now you're planning to go ahead and do your masters. Right. So take me through that journey
Yeah.
of how it happened for you. What was the thought in your
Yeah.
head?
I think
Because I remember 3 years back.
Yeah.
Three years back. Was it 22?
22.
When I got a call from you, you told me I'm planning for
Exactly.
a thing like
Yes,
this.
yes. I think at that time I was in the final year.
Acha, that time you were in your final year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mid
okay,
of my
okay.
final year, I'll say.
Okay.
Everybody started preparing for the NEET PG,
Right.
and I also started preparing
Acha, you
for my NEET PG.
started
I
preparing for
started
NEET
preparing,
PG.
but I was not confident enough. Like, I was not sure exactly how to start with my preparation.
Okay.
At that time, I think my friends who gave this USMLE exam.
What is
So,
it called? US?
USMLE. USMLE.
Okay.
Yeah,
USMLE.
It's
Okay.
United States Medical Licensing Exam.
Acha.
Yeah, so I had zero idea about what is USMLE.
Okay.
Just like I had zero idea about what is
What is
UG.
NEET?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my friend used to my close friends in my close group, friends group. I think there are 3 people who are preparing for the USMLE exam.
Right.
And I didn't know anything much about this exam.
Okay.
But I just knew one fact that it's very expensive and it's not my cup of tea.
Exactly.
So,
वो thought ऐसे वो आना भी थोड़ा सा ये होता है.
Difficult हो
Sometimes
जाता है, yeah.
Sometimes you feel, is this meant for me? And then you're like, bro, seriously,
Yeah.
can we go there?
Can you go there? Yeah.
हाँ.
I think, yeah. So for that reason, financial aspect, I said, okay, no, I don't
हाँ यार,
want to go there.
वो है ही नहीं अपने
Yeah.
लिए. तो चलो कैसे तो भी करके हम इधर तक आ गए.
Yeah.
इंडिया. बट अभी उधर जाने का सोच रहे हैं. हाँ.
So I think they gave, so it's this exam is in 3 steps. USMLE step 1, step 2, and then step 3.
Okay.
So they cleared their step 1 in the final year.
अच्छा,
At the end of
your
the third
friends,
year,
आपके
my
friends की सारी complete हो गई है.
Step
But
1,
you
they gave the
are
step 1.
But
Yeah.
you have still not started preparing for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But thought है दिमाग में?
Thought है, पता चल रहा है what is exam.
Okay.
When they cleared their exam, I think all 3 people of them, like they scored 260 plus scores.
अच्छा.
And scoring in USMLE 260 plus is a big achievement.
Okay.
It's
and
a
it
gold
is-
standard score.
Okay, gold standard. And
Yeah.
Total marks कितनी है उसके?
It's, I can say, the total marks are not fixed, but
Acha.
people assume that it's for 300 marks.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
Okay.
So out of 300, scoring 260 plus is a big deal.
Okay.
So there was so many talks about their scores in whole campus.
Okay, पूरे कैंपस में डिस्कशन
Yeah,
हो रही है
yeah.
कि यार ये लोगों ने
हाँ.
गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड स्कोर किया हुआ है.
And तभी I took the interest.
अच्छा.
तभी I gave it a thought कि
So you
exactly
wanted to
क्या है.
taste
हाँ,
that.
but let's look what it is exactly.
yes.
So I started talking with them for like more details, taking details about what is
About the exam and
USMLE,
all,
how
right.
it goes. Then when I got to know about the process of USMLE, it's basically, as I said, it's a licensing exam which
Exactly.
you need to give to get the residency, the PG started in the US. So then when I talked with them, I realized what are the perks of going there, what are the positive aspect of going there.
Okay.
Because one aspect is, I'll say that technologically, medical field mein they are very advanced.
अच्छा.
Like they research a lot about one particular case.
Okay.
They give a lot of time to each and every individual cases.
Okay.
They handle very specific cases in the given day.
अच्छा.
So you start a patient from a 0 level and you complete it till the 100 level. Of course, there were other reasons as well. Because I think through this degree, I can get the universal license. Universal licensing as in you can practice in any part of the world.
Okay, once you have cleared USMLE and you have done your studies there, after that you can practice in any part of the world. मतलब आप पूरे दुनिया में कहीं भी किसी भी देश में you can be a medical practitioner. Okay.
Yes, you don't need to go through any kind of the exam. Yeah, of course, the language barrier you need to cross it. Yeah,
obviously, but other than that, आप सीधे के सीधे अपनी practice शुरू कर सकते हैं. Okay, so you are going for that.
Yeah.
Today is Wednesday. Vikas is flying on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going there for the clinical rotations currently.
Acha.
Yeah.
Clinical rotations.
Okay. So like final year was a time period when I understood what exam is this, what are the perks of going through this exam. But again, the problem was financial aspect. Because till now I was teaching and managing my
own expenses. मतलब घर किसी तरीके से मैनेज कर रहे हैं, पढ़ाई मैनेज कर रहे हैं, कॉलेज फीस मैनेज कर रहे हैं. की जो एग्जाम्स होगी मुझे लगता है वो भी तो बहुत एक्सपेंसिव होगी.
It's very expensive. Like even I'll tell you, like the step 1 cost was $1,000 for me.
$1,000 मतलब अगर मैं डायरेक्टली भी उसको मल्टीप्लाई करूँ तो it turns out to be around 85,000 rupees.
Plus like the form filling process, it went around 1 lakh.
1 lakh rupees.
Just
मतलब
for the step 1.
सिर्फ step 1 की एग्जाम लिखनी है तो.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, that is the exam part. I understood that.
You're a daredevil dreamer, Vikas. I will say.
Things. Yeah. The main question I'll say, like, okay, when I was about to finish my final year, the main question was, what next?
Okay.
Yeah, what's next? Okay. When I look back at that time, I realized that all the things which right now I have, if I was in like 6-7 years, if I go back in time, if somebody would have told me that I'm going to be a doctor in future, I'm going to get into a medical college which is top 10 rank in India, I'm going to be a teacher, this thing I would have never believed in my life.
That's right.
I personally feel that, okay, this is something which I can never believe 7 years down the line, and I have already achieved it.
That's true.
So let's not stop here. Let's jump from here. Let's take the bigger steps from this point
that's
onwards.
Amazing.
That was a point. What's next? That question, that framing of question led me to go for this question and this journey of me getting into USMLE. What is bigger than NEET PG? So the bigger than NEET PG is something which is USMLE.
Right.
So why not to go for that? So I always had that ambitions of not settling up with this whatever is happening.
Right.
I personally feel that, okay, we all are the part of evolution. We all are evolving.
That's right.
And evolution is a process. It's not a constant thing. It's a process. So I think this is how I made my mind to go for this thing.
Exactly.
And then
you were actually a caterpillar coming out of a cocoon.
Yeah. What is that called as molding phase?
Yeah.
I think overall it goes from my 11-12 phase and repeat phase.
Okay.
The toughness which I got, I think, because that was a phase where I made my mind that I'm not going to stop.
Okay.
This phase made me believe in things.
Okay.
That phase made me realize that I can do things which practically seems impossible for me.
Okay.
I did that thing and it motivated and it kept on motivating me.
What are the challenges that you faced, while preparing for this exam?
For my USMLE exam?
Yes.
I think for me, the first main challenge was managing my financial aspect.
Okay.
Securing the financial aspect. Because
and what about the study related part? Financial aspect is one. What about the study related part? Yeah. Like, is it really difficult
I'll say
manageable because we've studied, say from our Indian standards. So it is like, okay, doable. है इतना भी difficult नहीं है पर हो जाएगा, manage हो जाएगा.
I'll say it's very difficult and very different. From I won't say difficult, but it's very different.
Approach बदल जाता है.
Approach is very very unique. I'll say.
Okay.
Because they focus more on the clinical aspect.
Okay.
Like if I'll say if they want to ask about particular kind of the disease, they wouldn't give you the straightforward question framing.
Okay.
They will give you hints in so many different ways.
Achha.
So like I'll say our question used to be around like 13-14 lines.
Hmm.
And in NEET PG, you have only 2-3 liner questions.
Okay.
And you have 4 questions out of that you are supposed to mark.
I understand that.
And in USML, you have around 13-14 options for one particular question.
Okay.
So tukka, though there is no chance that you are. Yeah.
Right.
So again, the clinical aspect of this exam, I think one of the reason I liked this journey was the approach of this exam.
Okay.
It's purely conceptual and clinical.
Acha. Can you take us through your journey? Like, what are you planning to do, and which state in the US you're planning to do what?
Okay. So, like, I'll tell you about
briefly, if you can talk about it briefly, that is doable.
So it has, as I said, like 3 steps. But this is a thing which is not only about the exams.
Okay.
It's about overall interest, what you have in the thing which you want to do in future. So as I said, I have interest in medicine. If I want to be in medicine, if I want to start my PG in US as a doctor or a resident doctor. So doctors who are doing PG is called as a resident doctor.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I want to start my PG, I need to build a strong CV. Of course.
Right.
It's not only about the exams. Exam plays half role. Other
and
things
the CV plays half role.
Okay. So you need to. So they have one board called as a ECFMG board.
Acha.
So they ask any international medical graduate.
Okay.
Before they apply for the PG, they are the only condition they keep in front of you is that you're supposed to have the clinical exposure of United States.
Acha.
You should be aware about how US healthcare system works. So for that, what they offer is 1 month of clinical rotations.
So you're going to be doing your clinical rotations in like which places?
I'm going there in the Boston at St. Vincent Hospital.
Okay.
Starting from May 1st to May 31st.
Okay.
After that, I'm going to St. Peter's Hospital, which is in New Jersey, close to New Brunswick.
Okay.
Then I'm going to Johnson Barnabas University. Amazing. It is in New Brunswick. And thoda sa a bit far from New Brunswick and close to New Jersey, we have Rutgers Medical School.
Okay.
I'm doing my 4 rotations over there.
So you tell me, how is your journey going to be as a doctor after this? Like once you're done with this, then how are you, going to see yourself in the future? तुम्हारे सारे clinical rotations हो गए. Then Vikas का next step क्या है?
I think I'm going to start with a year of research.
अच्छा.
Again.
So research की planning उसके बाद 1 साल और. Okay.
To build my good CV.
अच्छा.
And then after 1 year of my research position, maybe I'll start by the end of 26. I'll start my residency in US.
US में.
Yeah, I have a profound interest in the medicine.
अच्छा.
So I'll continue with the medicine.
अच्छा.
So they have 3 years of medical, 3 years of PG course. So after that 3 years, I'll be applying for the super specialty, or maybe I'll work there for 2-3 years as a medicine doctor, and then I'll apply for the super specialty, and then let's see how things goes on.
लेकिन मैं जितना समझ रहा हूँ विकास, see when you're going for clinical rotations, जब आप clinical rotations के लिए जा रहे हैं यहाँ पर, so ये तो कोई यूनिवर्सिटी में आप जा नहीं रहे हो,
right?
तो आपको इसके अगेंस्ट एजुकेशन लोन मिला है?
No, actually no.
So then आप अपनी फंडिंग या ये जो आप क्लिनिकल रिसर्च के लिए जा रहे हो, रोटेशन के लिए जा रहे हो, तो आप इसकी फंडिंग कैसे मैनेज कर रहे हो?
So I'll tell you why. Just the question which you asked, like all the expenses are going to be very, I'll say, unexplainable, because it is going to be for accommodation and my food.
Okay.
For the initial 5 months which I'm going there for the clinical rotations. When I'm going to start my research position, it is going to be unpaid. So I have to manage again the accommodation and the food aspect. If I go for the loan, the bank will ask me, where are you paying this money? I don't have the proof that I'm going to this university and I'm paying this much amount of money for them. Because I'm not paying them any amount of the
मनी आप वो इंस्टीट्यूट या हॉस्पिटल को पे नहीं कर रहे हो, क्योंकि आप वो हॉस्पिटल में जाके सीखने वाले हैं, राइट? और आपको अपना रहना खाना खुद मैनेज करना है. तो ये फंडिंग फिर आप अरेंज कैसे कर रहे हो? इफ बैंक आपको पैसे नहीं दे रही है, तो आप कैसे मैनेज कर रहे हो?
That was a big task for me actually. So something like my brother-in-law, my mama, my people from my workplace, like my teachers. Yeah, so togetherly I'm trying to manage as much as possible. Because even like I have a flight on Sunday, and day before yesterday, like I
कल
think
की बात
kal ki
है.
baat hai.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, someone was sponsoring my uh, this research thing and my
Yes.
clinical rotations ka accommodation ka cost and all.
Hmm.
And then out of nowhere they backed out due to some personal reasons.
Okay.
So
मतलब 4 दिन है अभी जाने के लिए.
जाने के लिए.
And people who are about to help him, they are backing out at the last moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a breakdown moment for me actually to,
I
starting
can
again from the
understand
scratch.
that.
Yeah.
अब सारे टिकट्स आ चुके हैं, सब कुछ है.
सब कुछ है. And
हम
then
जा रहे हैं वहां पे.
जा रहे हैं.
And हमको लग रहा है कि
some initial funding is also obviously there, but the funding for the later part
के लिए तो कैसा है. And I think you have all the plans to return the money, right?
Yes, of
ऐसा
course.
कुछ भी नहीं है कि आप स्कॉलरशिप ले रहे हो.
Yes, it's like asking them for the help for some
for
particular
some
duration.
days, for certain period. You need that financial help.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, this is how it is going. It's very difficult, I'll say. It is very emotionally draining, because when you keep on giving thoughts about what is going to happen, whether it's going to happen or not.
But one thing I know and I'm very sure of, Vikas, and that is what I told you yesterday.
Yeah.
You are a fighter.
Yes. Thank you.
And
Thank you
there
so
is
much
a way, and the way is on the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will not know, or you will not have clarity about your entire path.
True.
Right?
True.
And those problems will get solved once they come.
True, sir.
Right? And I would like to take this channel as a medium.
Yeah.
To ask for people, or to support this super brilliant candidate if at all they can. It's no compulsion. Okay, but this is one of the problems which bright candidates and students like Vikas and many more across the country might be facing.
Yeah.
So if there is a way in which this problem can be managed or tackled, it would be really good. If anyone is in a position or power to give a solution to this, do find a solution to this particular problem. It's a request from
so
students like Vikas and every other aspirant,
of course,
who is capable enough but doesn't have the avenues or the medium through which actually they can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you going to miss mom once you're there?
I think that's the most difficult part, I'll say, for this journey.
Okay.
Because like considering her situation, she's going to be a single person after once I leave, because after one point somewhere down the line, my younger sister is going to get married. She's going to live again, she's going to have her own life. She's going to get settled. She'll be the only person left over, after me also being in US.
That's true.
So my initial plan is just to get there and take my mom as soon as possible.
That's right.
Get settled.
I have never seen your Mama Vikas, but one thing I'm sure about is she's taken a lot of care in your upbringing, and the way she has brought you up is really incredible.
True, sir.
I'm deeply, I feel gratitude that, I could meet you, I could talk about her, I got this opportunity, and she is a true warrior, a real lady, a real hero,
Yes.
standing behind you, and, she's supporting you. Nothing wrong can ever happen to you.
Of course.
That is one thing which I'm sure of. Even though in the shorter journey, things might appear as if, they are not falling your way, but ultimately they have to fall in line and your way. And if certain things are not happening your way, that means something better is coming.
True.
That's why it was not happening like that.
True.
Vikas, thank you so much for taking time
Thank you so much.
Coming here, and recording this podcast for me. I understand, it's the last phase, wherein you're preparing everything, gathering all this stuff. A lot of things, goes in. during the last week
last week.
while you're
Yeah.
traveling. But still, thank you so much, Vikas. We actually planned this particular thing at a very short notice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you
wish
so
you
much,
all
sir.
the very best
Thank you so much, sir.
and an amazing, amazing life.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, it means a lot to me to be invited, to be able to share the moments which I personally felt, and I want others to know the purpose which you told me.
Exactly.
Because sometimes we believe that the situation which we are into, I think we find it we either we have two options to deal with a situation.
That's true.
Either to go with the positive mindset or go with the negative mindset.
Exactly.
It's up to us, like where we want to lead to ourselves.
Right.
And that mindset is going to define ourselves.
True.
And this is what I want to, tell to people and reach out to people as much as I can, and tell them that be a positive aspect of your life. This
Absolutely.
is how life works.
Absolutely.
This is how life works.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
it's
so
a
much.
message to all the audience and all the students, all the aspirants who are listening to this podcast. Whenever things are not falling your way, don't keep the finger outside. And, rather than seeing outside, look at inside and try to find out what's going wrong inside. Try to correct that. Okay? There will always be situations outside, but how you respond to a certain situation is, your skill, and that decides your journey and ultimately your destination. Your outer circumstances, they have a control, but only to a certain extent. So you can decide your own destiny. You can stand against all the odds and make it happen for you. The point is, you just have to stay in the game and be there. It is always the last man standing. Thank you so much for watching this podcast. It is your host, Roshan Sharma, saying thank you to you. Thank you so much.